Radio offers unique opportunities for independent pastors and radio program producers in the metropolitan area. Both King and Queen Radio and Brooklyn Station provide prime airtime in the evening, weekend, and during the day for a wide range of programs dealing with religion, finance, health, business opportunities, including international multicultural talk and music. The following is an independently produced program. The views and claims dictated by the host and guests of the program are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or its advertisers. For sponsorship, music promotion, and business ads, call management at 347-699-6892.
Water Lane Entertainment, the 30-plus group, and Midday Medley presents the Jamaican Music Festival, Sunday, May 26th at the Roy Wilkins Park in Queens, New York, featuring D'Angel, Johnny Clark, I Octane, Derek Morgan, Tony Rebel, Mackie Diamond, Trevor Clark, Horace Andy, Al Jam, Ding Dong, Pinchers, Mr. Charisma, Dennis Al Capone, and Coco T. General admission at $60, VIP $150. Prices will go up soon. Pick up your tickets in all the usual ticket outlets in Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island. Call for more information, 631-336-8353. That's 631-336-8353. The Jamaican Music Festival. First time in New York, so come and celebrate the music of Jamaica. Your MCs, Comedian Lemon and Bosie Boy Floyd. Don't forget the date, Sunday, May 26th at the Roy Wilkins Park. You can't afford to miss this one.
We treat all accidents. Car accidents, construction accidents, slip and falls, work accidents. Our faculty has many doctors all in one place. Orthopedics for knees, shoulders, broken bones, etc. Neurology for head injuries and nerve pain. Chiropractic, physical therapy, acupuncture, and pain management. Our office is workers' compensation certified, so if you are injured on a job, you can be treated for free. Also, you can get paid for your lost wages until you're physically able to return to work, and you can still be treated for free. You don't need a lawyer. Take care of your health first. We will provide the best lawyers that will come to the office or go directly to your house. Our attorney just won a case for $1.5 million. If you're injured in any accident, come to Dr. Jeff Mullins. Walk-ins are welcome, and there is no waiting. 718-802-0800. WorkersComp.drBroken.com.
Welcome to a great show. And I have some facts to tell you about me. Well, as you know, I'm Sister Devon. I'm an international psychic, spiritualist, and healer. I tell you about the past, the present, and the future. You got that right. And for the generations out of Africa, from 12 generations, I inherit a great gift. And with many experience and many cases, I know how to solve things in a fast way. But most important, I love to do love and relationship. I'm an expertise in that. Guaranteed to bring your lover back to you within hours. Cleanse your body from bad luck and black magic once and forever. I have a reputation to heal sexual impotence. I can also help you in court cases, exams, good luck, protection from evil and enemies, chasing bad spirits. And you'll be flourishing in your business because I'm going to help you clear all obstacles from your way. No matter what your problem, you need to contact me, Sister Dubon. Guaranteed positive results within days. When Sister Dubon helps you, you can feel the results of my spiritual powers and existence right away. All the people that I dealt with were surprised about the supernatural powers and quick results. Not only fast and effective, but also beyond belief when it comes to love and relationship matters in a speedy time. Satisfaction guaranteed. Just call me 718-253-7273. You'll be back to life much happy and full of strength. You're going to get better results in protection, removing bad luck, spells, black magic, strong voodoo, impotent, sexual problems, and financial and business problems and love affair. Call me 718-253-7273. I'm a psychic clairvoyant specializing in love and relationship. And I'm kind and caring, offering insights, inspiration and wisdom and understanding. You will be surprised with the compassion and accuracy. Don't feel like you're left alone and no one to help you. And don't give up. Call me 718-253-7273. I will help you get rid of all the problems you have. Everything in life is a blessing and grace from God. Even we face hardship and difficulty, we're still filled with the blessing of God and His abundance and His good wills and His good feels. These blessings may take so many different forms. We just have to learn to recognize them and put them together and see Sister Devon and enjoy our lovely, lovely life. You will hear many people say the same thing in the same verses, but they can't get results as well as Sister Devon. So if you go into peoples and readers out there saying the same thing I'm saying, give Sister Devon your #1 psychic reader a try. I'm waiting for you right now. Call me. Call me. Call me. 718-253-7273. Call me. Sister Devon.
Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests and callers, and are not necessarily those of the station, its management or other advertisers. Use of this site and all services provided therein are for personal use only. Brooklyn Station holds no responsibility for the validity or accuracy of the information given. Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests and callers, and are not necessarily those of the station, its management or other advertisers. Use of this site and all services provided therein are for personal use only. Clean Radio holds no responsibility for the validity or accuracy of the information given.
I will come with a blessing. If you Good evening, and welcome to the good times at Evenings with Eleanore on King and Queen Radio and BrooklynStation.com. And you know that I know you know that we're here every Wednesday night from 9 to 11 p.m. for your listening, learning, and joining in pleasure. I thank you so much for your support, for your emails, for your suggestions, and for your love. Thank you guys for tuning in each week. And remember, if you would like to showcase, or if you need a platform to showcase your act, to promote an event, or your unique self, let us know. Send us an email at eveningswitheleanore@gmail.com. Tell us what's on your mind. Send us the links to your reel, your tracks, your promotion, whatever that may be. And we'll make sure that you have a platform to be heard, because that's what we do around here with over 40 million listeners, and our eternal gratitude for tuning in each week. And you know, at this time, I would like to thank a gentleman who appeared last week as my guest, Fred Funky Mills of Sweet Dreams. And I'm sure that somewhere down the line, little Johnny Taylor, that we're cousins. I want to thank you, Fred, for the good vibes, the great music. And I have to say this, that after the interview, I got an email from your sister. And from a sister's point of view, I can appreciate that. I thank you, sis, for checking in and enjoying the interview. I thank you guys for your support in Durham, North Carolina. And I especially thank Fred Funky Mills and Sweet Dreams. As I said, Fred, we will have an encore. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like very much to introduce you to my first guest for the evening. And you can hear her music being played in the background. And before I introduce her, I'd just like to say that in doing my due diligence for this artist, I was really taken away, blown away with her efforts, her creativity, the fact that I can introduce her to my audience, and the uplifting, the encouraging music from the lady that's holding on for my interview this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Tosinga. How are you? Good evening, Tosinga. Hello? Hello? Tosinga? We're having difficult technicalities. Tosinga, are you there? Hello? Just a tiny wrinkle. Let me know when you can hear me. Hello? Well, while we'll try. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm sorry about that little technical difficulty, but you know, wrinkles happen. I'm so happy that you could join us this evening, and I'd like to welcome you and to give an honorable mention to our mutual friend Shola Emmanuel.
Yes, very good friend of mine.
I'd like to familiarize my audience with your background a little bit. If we can start with a little bit of your background, that I know that you started singing in church.
Oh wow. Can you kind of figure out just a little bit? It sounds a little distant.
Can you hear me a little better, or hello? I'm sorry, but I cannot hear you. Hello?
Can you hear me?
You're not on speakerphone, are you?
I was kind of hearing better when I was on speaker. I just picked it off speaker now.
Okay, is that a little better?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. You know, I understand that you are from Nigeria.
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you know, as a singer, we in America, a lot of singers from my era, and I'm sure today, started in church. And I was a little surprised that, you know, that was the background for you as well, that we had that kindred spirit.
Yeah.
That you were also a worship leader, and you sang throughout college. Hello? I'm sorry, I'm losing you, Tosinga. But until we get the problem solved, can we play, to give my audience an idea of your work until we get the technical difficulties solved? I'd like to play one of your tracks, and one of the tracks that I especially loved was Ela.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Ile? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Maybe you're not close enough to the phone, or you're on speaker. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can hear you much better. Tell me a little bit about this song.
That song is the home, like don't let
I'm sorry, I'm having a little difficulty, and until we can correct the difficulty, I'll play the song, and hopefully we'll have the problem solved when the track is done. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I don't know what that is. She's got to eat the phone. You got to put it right to her mouth. But she keeps cutting in and out. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that.
Oh,
I am in love with that song. Are you there, Tosina? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
We have just heard Ile,
Okay.
and we are in love with it. In fact, the people in the studio are just in love with it. We're getting such great response from it. Would you give me a little background on that tune? Is it an original composition?
Yes, it is an original song. It means home.
It means home?
In my Yoruba language, I'm from the Yoruba tribe of the southwestern part of Nigeria. And the message of that song is simply home is where the heart is.
Absolutely.
Saying home is where the heart is. And basically just saying where you find love, where you find peace, that's where home is. And it touches the heart of the diaspora because, you know, people leave their original places, their places of origin,
yes,
relocate and migrate, and
yes,
sometimes they have nostalgic feelings, they want to go back home. So it's an emotional connection to the concept of home. So it's just, the general message is that wherever you find love, that will be where home is. And after a long day's journey, after you've gone on a trip, you come back home. And wherever there's love and peace, that's where home is. So that's the message of that song, and that's what inspired the song.
Well, that's definitely an inspiration. And I know you can relate to it, your home being Nigeria. And I understand that you're calling me from Georgia.
Yes, I'm based currently in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from Nigeria. I lived in London for a while, so I relocated from London to the U.S. When I first landed in the U.S., I lived in Oklahoma. And from Oklahoma, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, because Atlanta, Georgia is, you know, warmer for what I do, the music and the creative arts. I feel more comfortable here, and this is where I've been since 2010. I've been in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, I'm telling you, as a native, that you are so welcome, and what you bring to the industry. I absolutely love your lyrics. Of course, I've listened to a lot of your work over the past few days. And there's so much that I'd like to ask you. You know, I'd like to go back to, you said you're from Nigeria and you're from the Yoruba tribe. You know, I'm quite sure that during your childhood that there were some indication that you wanted to get into the music industry. What led you to come to America, to want to get involved in music to this extent?
The little girl growing up in Nigeria.
You're going in and out. And could you get a little closer to the phone? Hello?
Hello?
You need to get a little closer to the phone. I think you're going in and out.
Oh, okay. So I was talking about how I got into music.
You have to get closer. I'm sorry. We've lost you, I think.
Talking about how I got into music. Can you hear me now?
No, I can't. You are very low coming in. I don't know if it's the connection.
Can you hear me now?
We can't get any more volume on that? Keep talking. We'll see if we can get the volume. But keep speaking about, yes, now you're getting better.
Okay, so your question was how I got into music?
Yes.
And what influenced me?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, so since I was a little girl, I used to call my grandmother to have church choir in her home.
Yes.
And I started singing there as young as 5 years old. And that's when I got exposed to music. Growing up, my mother worked in the entertainment industry also. She had this large collection of a variety of music from everywhere in the world. You know, jazz, pop, funk, highlights. So she was always playing music around the world. When I started singing in the church, that's when I realized I was home that I had a beautiful singing voice. And as I grew older, I was very involved in church, I'm involved in college fellowship, Christian fellowship, student fellowship, and then that's when I started doing worship as a praise and worship leader. And then when I moved to London is when I started thinking of music as a career and got trained, professionally, and did some stage performances, vocal ensembles on Broadway. That's where I got the first taste of what it's like to do music professionally in London before I now moved to the US and recorded my first original music. So yeah, I've been singing for a long time, but doing music professionally since around 2002.
Well, tell me who your influences were.
Just of course, my grandma,
Okay.
and then a set of legendary musicians that I personally adore and look up to. Most of them have passed.
I
There's
see.
Miriam Makeba, she was like one of the first.
Yes, she was an inspiration to a lot of vocalists.
The African movement in the US, collaborated with a lot of Western musicians and made African music popular to some extent. I have heavily influenced by her style and by her message. There's Miriam Makeba, there's Nina Simone, there's our own local Nigerian female acts, the Sister Sisters, there's Onika O, there's to come down to the younger generation, there's India and Jimmy Scott, listened to a lot of Whitney Houston growing up, and then there's a gospel circle, there's the Winans, the Adams, King Farrell. So I listened to all those people, and Celine Dion, Shade Adu. It's a lot.
I noticed that you've also done some.
That kind of shift my view on how I present myself musically.
Well, you present yourself very well. It was a pleasure going through the visual, the audio, the history. It was a pleasure going through the visual and the audio and the way you presented yourself on the website and otherwise, and the fact that you were recommended by Shola. And, I can appreciate you writing your material. One of the things that I noticed on your bio was SCAD. Tell me about your relationship to SCAD.
SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. Yes. Okay, so when I moved to the US, I've already been schooled up. I went to London, I did education, communication, and language arts, but when I had a taste of what it's like to do this professionally, I wanted to go back to school and do something that's creative arts related. And SCAD popped up one of the schools here in Atlanta. I had Atlanta in mind, and SCAD popped up, and they didn't really have anything. They do now, but when I got admitted, they didn't have that program that was specifically music. The closest to the creative arts that wasn't so specialized like interior decor or fashion or things was arts administration. So I applied and I got admitted to do a master's in art administration. And art administration, I was able to learn how to brand the art, how to write grants and package an artistic project, curate artistic events. So that's what I did.
So it was basically marketing and promotion?
Marketing and promoting, yes.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
what the course is all about. And I graduated in 2012.
You graduated in 2012. My grandson is now a student at SCAD, and I can only sing the praises of the institution. But getting back to your music, one of the other songs that I absolutely fell in love with was Song of the Elders. Of course, I fell in love with Healing Wings, but Songs of the Elders, you give such an insight to your world, to your thoughts, through your lyrics, as most writers do. And when you incorporate your language into your lyric, is it difficult to adjust that phrasing?
I didn't get a laptop, but I got the first part of the question about I write and how.
You know, when you translate your language into the beat, the groove, your composition, do you have to make major adjustments to the phrasing? Hello?
Yeah. If I understand your question correctly, how I'm able to, adopt writing in my language.
Yes.
Adopting the phrasing of my language into writing my lyrics.
From English to your language.
To your
Because the phrasing, I found the phrasing in Ile was beautiful. And it's very catchy.
Oh wow. Okay. I usually, like this song is more multi-lingual than sing in back and forth in both languages. So I think in Yoruba sometimes, and I usually work with melodies. Because I'm into folklore, I write stories. I'm also African folklore storyteller. So I incorporate all the folklore that I know and the Yoruba sayings and proverbs that I know into the songs that I write. And the verses will be in English, but I try to just put in the Yoruba somewhere in there. Because, Yoruba is a very tonal language. It's one of the most tonal languages in the world.
Well, I noticed from your vocals, your timbre, your placement, that you have an excellent placement. I love your tone. It's as clear and it doesn't vary. Your head tones, your voice is just absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'd like to play a little bit of the Song of the Elders. Tosinga, Song of the Elders. What about Healing Wings? We're just having a little difficulty, and I'm.
That one I don't have for her, but what's the other one afterwards? Because I don't have that song. What's the other song?
It's on SoundCloud.
I'll take anything. Just play. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, SoundCloud. Go to SoundCloud.
Okay. Thank you.
We're getting there. Thank you so much. Once again, I'd like to remind you that you are listening to Evenings with Eleanor on King and Queen Radio. And our guest this evening is Tosinga. She is an awesome, beautiful, talented vocalist from Nigeria by way of Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm hoping that we have the tracks available.
Yes. What's the song again?
Song of the Elders. We are dependent on computers, and Daddy's not really going right now, so we're getting there. But in the interim, I can remind you that all hosts and disc jockeys here at King and Queen Radio and BrooklynStation.com appreciate your support. And I want you to know that if you have any questions or comments on the show or any show, to contact the owner, Zena Palin, at 718-253-7273, and let's talk about it. Let's have your comments. But right now we're listening to Tosinga. Thank you.
Ẹni àwí fún ọba jẹ́ gbà. Oya
You've got to tell me the story behind that.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I'm here. Hello?
Yeah, so you want to tell me, let me tell you the story about that song?
Yes, Song of the Elders. What is the Song of the Elders?
Now, a track called Voice of the Elders, and basically I was just trying to educate people about the culture, the African culture of respecting elders, and the Yoruba proverb that I was singing in that song that says "Aboro lásán fọ́mọ Olúwàbí tó bá dé ìrìnàjò," which means just to paraphrase, a word is enough of a wise, right? You tell a child half a word. When it drops into the child like a seed, it grows into a tree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like a word is enough for the wise. Except here, when we just listen to the voice of the elders. Listen to the voice of wisdom. So that's just imploring people to respect our senior citizens, to respect the elders in the community. So that's the message of that song.
That's a great message. And as with most of your material, well, all of your material that I've listened to, it's uplifting, it's enlightening, it's encouraging. and extremely positive. You know, I had a chance to look at your reel, your acting reel, and you are an extremely, extremely talented lady. I'd like very much for you to tell our audience where they can find your material.
Yeah, so I'm online as Tosinga, Tosincer on all social media. My website is tosinga.com, tosincer.com. And everywhere as Tosinga, you can find my music on all digital platforms, iTunes, Amazon, Baby. Just search my name, Tosinga. You can also follow on Spotify and stream on Spotify. You get the album on my website and watch the videos on my YouTube. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere.
I love it. I'm everywhere. And I know as most artists, you're looking to expand your presence internationally, I would say. You know, I can certainly appreciate your efforts. And I know that we're going to be hearing great things from you. You will be hearing from me after this interview because I am absolutely in love with your music. And
wow, thank you.
I wish you great success in your efforts. It's certainly deserved, and you have certainly put forth the effort. I thank you so much for being my guest this evening. And
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and I'll be looking and reaching out to you. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you so much.
God bless.
Precious moments to
That was Tosinga, ladies and gentlemen, from Nigeria, or from Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Nigeria. I'd like to thank you again for joining us, for your support, for reaching out to me at eveningswitheleanore@gmail.com. And I'd like to respond to some of those emails. Frank Shore from the UK, I now know your entire family. Matt, Jill. I thank you guys for watching me religiously. I thank you for contacting me. And who knows, I might be over, so put another shrimp on the Barbie. There are 22 Democrats as of today running for president. I wonder if there's a quota. I'd like to do a few shout outs. I heard from my good friend DJ Soul of Aten this week. Awesome DJ. You should see him, you should hear him in the saddle. He promises that he's going to stop by one Wednesday and spend some time, and don't let him forget it. I'd like to remember one of the greats right now from the Dells that passed away today. We also lost Tim Conway and Peggy Lipton and Doris Day, and you know, it's very touching. And even though a lot of these artists that your paths have never crossed personally, it certainly did artistically. We grew up with Doris Day. We grew up with the Mod Squad, Peggy Lipton. We grew up with Tim Conway. And I tell you, when I come in at 2, 3, in the wee hours of the morning, if Carol Burnett is on, that's where I'm going, because I need a laugh. And Tim Conway was guaranteed. Guaranteed. Will be sorely missed. But one of my favorites right now, Stay in My Corner. The Dells. Thanks, Holly. How I love you. Honey, I love you. I really love you. Hey, son? No? Yeah. Okay, so let's give me a couple of minutes. Just a couple of minutes. I'll be right there. Yeah. Do your homework, do your research, find out who these guys are from the 5 Heartbeats. Listen to the soundtrack. That's the Dells. None finer. None finer. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, other than you're being tuned into King and Queen Radio in Evenings with Eleanore from Brooklyn, New York. Hey, Brooklyn! On the line right now is my second guest for the evening. A group from Chicago. And you know how we feel about Chicago. We got a lot of friends from Chicago. Stevie Pinnell, one of them. Hi, Stevie. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Love Lay Silent. Good evening, Asa.
Hi, how you doing, Eleanor?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Thank you so much for calling in, for sharing your awesome track that we're going to play in a little bit with us.
Yeah, no problem.
And I'd like to say that, you know, we're making history tonight because this is my first metalcore band.
I'm glad we were able to make it first.
So am I, and I'm glad to be able to share your music with my listeners because it slays me. I'm telling you. First of all, Love Lay Silent. That's a killer name. You got to tell me a little bit about that. How'd that come about?
Yeah, so basically, we were in a couple of other bands before Love Lay Silent, just developing like sound and stuff.
Okay.
And then we finally solidified members of the band.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to change the name because there were new members and stuff. So we each picked a name that we liked. And I don't remember exactly what they were, but they all had one of those words in them. And then we each picked the one word from each name that we liked the most. And it came out to Love Lay Silent. So,
You know, it's a killer name. And the logo, I mean, you need to give a shout out to your graphic artist because that logo is beautiful. Yeah. It's classic.
And Katie Naselli, my sister-in-law.
It's hey, sister-in-law. Great logo.
Yep.
In listening to your music and in following your gigs and the background of the band, I noticed that it says that you guys are brothers?
Yes, ma'am.
That's
Yeah.
the best group
We just
ever.
actually split ways with our former drummer. He went to pursue other things. So we actually, my younger brother, Ethan, he's a drummer, he's fantastic, and he just joined. So now we are all 3 brothers in the band. And it makes life a lot easier just because things are less complicated. But
that's got to be the best band ever. I mean, a band of brothers. What gets better than that?
well, we'll let the fans decide that. But.
Nothing is better than having your brothers in the group. Oh man, that's great. I really love that aspect of it. I also, in reading, it says, and I quote, that Love Lay Silent is a metalcore band from Chicago. And I had to fight to find more information than that.
Yeah.
You know, you guys, in the spirit of metalcore, how does metalcore differ from heavy metal, say?
Thank you. Say that one more time. You broke
I
up.
said, how does metalcore differ from heavy metal?
How does it come from what?
How does metalcore differ from heavy metal? Is there a difference?
Gotcha. Yeah, so basically, the difference is metalcore is more punk.
Okay.
There's a lot more singing.
Okay.
Heavy metal is more like just growling. Where like, if you look at the song, the game, the verses and pre-choruses, and a lot of it is screams, but it's not just a pure scream, it's more emotional than that.
Yes.
And there's a little bit of a cry in there. The chorus is like clean, crisp vocals.
You know,
So
when I
that's
listen
kind of
to
where it differs.
when I listened to your music, I was blown away by the vocals. I mean, you would do the metalcore vocals, and then you would give me that sweet, almost a crooning vocal. It was such a great surprise within the tracks. And one of those tracks that I was talking about is I Am Alive. Is that an original composition?
Yes, it is. It was engineered and produced by Jake Jones and Robert Venables
Okay.
down in Nashville. And
Okay.
me, my brother, and our old drummer, we all wrote the song. So
Okay. Interesting. I see Jake Jones was a guitarist for We As Human and As We
Yeah.
Ascend. There's a little background on him. But I'd like to play a little bit of I Am Alive right now.
yeah.
Here we go. Metalcore. You know, I have to ask you a couple of questions about your vocals after this. Got to. Was amazing. Let me tell you, Asa. Asa, are you there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Little brother is kicking it. Little brother is holding it. I'm telling you, that's an amazing track. Tell me about the guitar player.
Yeah, so I'm the guitar player.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm the lone guitar player. Our other guitar player is Mr. MacBook Pro.
Okay.
Plays on a track. But yeah,
That's cool.
I've been playing guitar by myself for ever since I started playing music, and so when I do get a chance to play with another guitar player, it's kind of awkward. 'Cause I'm like, I don't know what this is like, but
Well, let
yeah.
me tell you, I made a note. There's a track of yours called "Losing Sight," and I made a
Yeah.
track. I made a note next to the track that says "Guitar is killing it." You know,
Thank you.
I have occasion every year. I go down to. There is a seminar in New York called the New Music Seminar.
Yeah.
And it happens every year, and a couple of years I've gone down, they've had metal bands, and maybe you should be in touch with Tom Silverman. That would be a great place to showcase your material. And
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
it's the New Music Seminar, and it's run by Tom Silverman, and I think he's at Tommy Boy Records. That would be a great place for Lovelace Island.
Yeah.
Before we go on, I have a question. I'd like to play "Losing Sight" if I could, but I want to ask you a question about the vocals.
Yeah.
Do you, the vocalist, after the gig? Now I can imagine your gig is a couple hours.
Actually, most of our gigs are only about an hour at most.
An hour at most. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a regimen that your vocalist has to go through because he is really handling those glottal strokes on his vocal cords? Is there a special
Yeah.
regimen that he goes through?
Yeah, so actually we use a course called Singing Success by Brett Manning.
Okay.
It's just a series of warm-ups, and then there's another course called Zen of Screaming. I
Okay.
don't know who's by, but
Okay.
it's breathing exercises, and they kind of teach you how to scream without hurting your voice. So it's exhausting, but it doesn't hurt you. So, yeah, so after the show, it's just don't talk for a while.
Okay.
Drink a lot of water, tea.
Okay.
So,
I
that's
just
pretty much
wanted
it,
to
though.
know. Well, I just wanted to know if there was a special regimen because we know that that kind of singing and those strokes on your vocal cords, you know, it's stressful. There's a strain there,
Yeah.
and you need to recoup and you need to take care of it. But he is killing it. I love the vocals. We're gonna play "Losing Sight" right now, and as I said, guitar is killing it.
Thank you.
I
nice. That is awesome.
Thank you.
I really think that, you know, we all know the reason that the game is blowing up the charts. You guys are amazing. You know, I had a lot of questions like, what was it like growing up, you know, with your brothers in the house with all this music?
Well, actually, for a couple of years, I didn't want to do music. I wanted to go join the army. I mean,
Oh,
not that there's anything wrong with joining the
I
army.
commend you.
My priorities changed. So I didn't like get into music till I was about 13.
Okay.
And then just me and my older brother Isaac, we kind of like bounced off of each other, like learning stuff, because he used to play guitar before he started singing. And he just
So
keeps
the
singing
older
and
brother
stuff, and
Isaac is the singer.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's
Okay.
the oldest, he's the singer, and then me, I'm the guitarist and backup.
Okay.
And then there's my younger brother Ethan, who's the drummer.
Okay, so now you got started at 13. So were the other guys playing before you joined, or?
Yeah, actually, Isaac started at like 11. He started playing guitar at 11. He didn't start singing until about 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
So, and then my younger brother Ethan didn't start playing drums until he was about 12. So, 4 years ago.
Were your parents into music?
Yeah, my dad plays in a lot of jazz bands.
Oh, go Dad.
Cumbia bands. So, yeah. He actually, he made like a living from it, so it was like, it was cool, because I'm like, it's possible. But, yeah, he's a fantastic musician. My mom was a really good piano player.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, also they both sang, so it was like,
So
no way we weren't going to get any kind of musician.
It was predestined. It was predestined. Family get-togethers must be awesome.
Yeah.
Getting back to Lovely Silent, how is the scene for your music in Chicago? You know, we have a lot of artists from Chicago that are, you know, George Clinton, funky, Chicago being a major market for, I guess, music. Frankie Knuckles, you know, one of our dear friends in house music from Chicago. We could go on, you know, songs are written about it. The river flows upstream. But my point is, how is the metal scene in Chicago?
In Chicago, it's not bad. I mean, I've been to places that are worse, so let's put it that way.
Okay.
It's not great, but there are worse places out there.
Okay.
A lot of our fans are from Tennessee, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, Germany. So we got a lot of fans all over the world and all over the states. But in Illinois, I mean, we got a lot of fans out here too, because like a lot of people my age are college students who moved here from other states, so they're into different music. So,
You know, looking at a lot of the rock bands, you know, and I know metalcore is not rock, but the rock bands seem to start out branded and as a business. For an instance, the Rolling Stones, they've been together since music began, you know, since I knew anything about music, and they're an institution. Do rock and metal bands strive for that unity and that brand? Do you think that they are more serious about that brand than other genres? Because it seems to me there's a lot of turnover in other genres.
yeah, I mean, like, for my band,
Mm-hmm.
we are a business, and there is an
Okay.
owner.
Okay.
And so we could technically sell our business to somebody else, and we'd still be part of the band, but somebody else would be making the financial decisions and the the directional decisions. I think the reason why there's a lot of high turnover is because people get this starry-eyed dream of being a musician and never having to pay for something, and once they get a record label sign them, there's no more work involved, where in fact it's the opposite. Like, you have to work even harder once you have a record label, because then you have to keep giving them something good.
That's true.
But yeah, like, a lot of people, I think, just get into music and they don't know what they're getting into, and I think that's why there's a high turnover.
You know, I'm listening to the production of your tracks, and the production is stellar. I mean, it is classically done. For you guys to be, you said you've only been doing this for how long?
Oh, wow. This band was in 2017 when we started Love Like Silence.
2017.
So,
you have produced a quality track. I mean, from the name of the band to the logo to the product.
I will say that 99% of the credit all goes to Jake Jones.
Oh, interesting.
He really kind of guided us a lot. So if you are an artist out there listening, looking for production work, Jake Jones
He's
Production.
the guy, huh? Shout out to Jake Jones. His work speaks for him. I also noticed that your engineer, Robert Venable, tell me a little bit about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's worked with like everybody. Works with 21 Pilots, Kelly Clarkson, Megadeth, all over the place. Mute Math. So he's worked with all the biggest names and such, and he was just really easy to work with. He was very just in and out. He didn't like do a lot of like production work, which was like nice because we were paying him to be an engineer. But he did a fantastic job. But he also does producing work. So if you are listening and you're looking for a producer of like the highest caliber, look up Jake Jones, look up Robert Venable. They're both in Nashville. They do fantastic work.
I mean, if he's using Kelly Clarkson as a reference, we get the message. I would like to know who your influences were when you know, I have a 14-year-old in the house, and, you know, metal is all, and he's playing guitar, so he's making his own. But his influences are like Metallica and, you know, Judas Priest. Who were your influences? Or maybe your brothers?
Yeah. Like, believe it or not, my influences all come from like mostly classic stuff, like Frank Sinatra and Sam Cooke.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just like something you don't hear from like metalcore artists very often. Whereas like my brother listens to a lot of like Memphis Mayfire, Ask Alexandria, Of Mice and Men type thing, and like I enjoy those bands as well.
Okay, Motley Crue.
I'm listening to like a lot of older stuff, and then like classic rock like Queen or Journey, like Foreigner.
Oh, all right, awesome. I love Foreigner. Tell me how, or what you guys are planning for your future. Are you just released the game? And I know that this big sound, this big, beautiful sound, has got to have a visual. So tell me what's coming up in videos and appearances and so forth.
Yeah, so we don't have a lot like confirmed for this year as far as like shows go. We have one show that's confirmed on June 28th. If you are in the Lombard, Chicago area, come out to Brewer House, June 28th. But as far as shows, we don't have a lot confirmed, but we have a lot like getting prepared. But as for like music, we are in the studio currently right now doing demos.
Okay.
Shooting ideas back and forth with our producer, just kind of trying to figure out the business side, because it's like nobody's really buying CDs anymore. So
No.
we're really brainstorming to like find good, productive, like, but practical way of getting music out there.
Is there an example or a project or something that I don't know where metal has fused with another genre?
Oh, there's many. There's one genre specifically called trap metal.
Okay.
where it's,
T-R-A-C-K?
rap and metal. Yeah.
Okay.
T-R-A-P.
Oh,
metal.
trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like rap and it's a specific style of rap.
Okay.
And metal, they fuse together. There's dub metal or metal steps. That's what it's called, metal steps. Where it's EDM and metal. You can really do it with anything. Like the band Bring Me the Horizon, they put like horn sections in one of their songs that they just released, which is just like it's like so out there, but it's really cool. So.
Well, you know, I'm going to be headed for trap metal and listening. I've got to. You know, but when I heard your music, and like I said, when you're not doing when your brother is not doing the metal vocals, and I've got that sweet vocal that he has, I can't wait, you know, to hear him sing again. So right now, I'd like to play. Holly, can we pull up like "I Am Alive"? I like the lyrics for this song. We got to talk about the lyrics when we come back. Because I really like these lyrics. And all these tracks are originals.
Yeah.
So who does the most writing? Or is it a straight collab? Okay. Well, it's got to be 33 and a third.
The singer, he writes like, I'd say the majority of the lyrics, and he writes them and then I critique them.
Oh,
and then, like, with the music, typically I write all the guitar pieces, and then he goes through and critiques it. And we have a couple of other people that put their input in, and then the drums are all Isaac and our drummer Ethan, because I stay away from drums at all costs.
Oh, come on. When he's not there, you got to sit down. I know I do. Awesome! Awesome! Now, you've got to tell me about those lyrics. I am alive.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So, let me find them. Like I said, I don't do a lot of the lyric stuff, so I'm like a little rusty on most of the lyrics. But for I Am Alive, a lot of what it's about is just like not letting others keep you down, or even like people who doubt you, keep you down. Like in the first verse it says, take on the faith you adopted and sin, bring me to peace if you think that you can. Fall on the ones who have guarded the weak, break down the walls they try to keep. That's like just describing the kind of people that like,
I like that.
they'll beat you down for like trying to like defend somebody or whatever. Like they'll just try and come at you.
I know
And then the
that.
pre-chorus is kind of like a taunt. It says, you can bring your hate, you can waste your strength, your attacks are weak, you cannot bury me. And that kind of like, it just like is a taunt, like come at me, bro, like take me, or I'll take you on, like type thing.
I got it, because I am alive.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I think you guys are doing an awesome job. I really love the music, and I said that earlier that we're making history on Evenings with Eleanore tonight because we are speaking with Love Lay Silent, and they are the first metalcore band that has appeared on our show. And I'm absolutely loving the music, and I know you are too. And I would like Asa to tell us where we can find his material online.
Yeah, so basically we are everywhere, like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Google Play,
Yes.
like Pandora, anywhere. So just look up Lovely Silent, and you'll find us up there. So
You know, it's been such a pleasure talking to you tonight. And I hope that you will keep us posted on your tours, your endeavors, any new music. And I would be honored if you would stop by and showcase your next release. But right now, I've got to share the game, the track that's climbing the charts, and deservedly so, because after I'm Alive and Losing Sight was my favorite. But the game is all that. Ladies and gentlemen, Love Lay Silent and their latest release, The Game. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I'll be in touch after the interview. I would love to speak with you guys further, and I wish you all the best in the future.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was an amazing, amazing night of super, super guests. Tosinga, that voice, that presence, that background. Young lady, I had a great time. And of course, we will stay in touch. Thank you, Shola. Asa and his brothers. Can you imagine being in a band with your brothers? That would be the most awesome setup. I love it. Love Lay Silent. And their latest release, The Game. I can imagine big things happening for this group. And Chicago, you keep sending those great musicians and that great music. We're in love with you guys out there. I'd like to remind you that King and Queen Radio and Evenings with Eleanore is what you're listening to right now. And we're here every Wednesday night from 9 to 11 p.m. So to give some shout outs to, in response to some of the emails and contacts that I've been getting this week. Flaviano Lanzi from White Tech Records out of Italy. Thank you so much for touching base, for being a fan, for listening, for watching. I'm thrilled to hear from you. Thank you so much. Mickey K from Deep Nota. I love you. I miss you guys down there. I noticed that you posted one of our photos. We gotta get together. Love you, Mickey. Miss you too. Delight One. If you get any more beautiful, we can't handle it. Hey, you're doing great things. And thanks for keeping in touch. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for your friendship. And Halso, your contributions, I can't thank you enough. Thanks for being in my corner. George Hubbard, thank you, thank you. Frank Shore from the UK. My friends down in Paraguay, I heard from them this week. Thanks, guys, for touching base. Let's see, Harold Freitas, Radio Rama down in Brazil, asked me to do a spot for his show. I'd be happy to, Harold. Thank you so much for asking me. Hello, Brazil. We're coming down there. Thank you so much, guys. And what you're hearing in the background. Haha. Higher Ground. That's my track. Produced by Robert Margolin. Aaron Zepeda. With beautiful contributions by David Nielsen, Aaron Aiken, and lots of love from a lot of folks. Hi, Danny Kavanaugh. So this week, I've heard from Karen Jansen out in Massapequa. Hi, Karen. And I know that I have your support and your friendship. We've been friends for years, and I miss you madly. Elaine Little. Let's see, Virginia Beach. Thank you for checking in. All my friends in Georgia. Atlanta, Savannah, Stone Mountain. Stone Mountain, Georgia. We've got a lot of contacts from Stone Mountain this week. Thank you, guys. My friends out in Vegas, out in Michigan, Cleveland. Oh, Teresa, who just moved from, she said from Cleveland to, I think it's Ronkonkoma, Long Island?
Yeah, Long Island.
Ronkonkoma, Long Island? Hey, Ronkonkoma, Long Island. Wow, that's got to be an Indian name, huh? That's got to be an Indian name, Ronkonkoma. A couple of things that I've been reading this week. Somebody had given me a set of Bose, a headset. And I read where bows can gather your music listening habits through their headsets. I don't know if I really like that. Why are my music habits important to anybody if I'm, if I have on my headset? Why would you want to gather what I listen to? Peloton, the bike. Well, Peloton was using music for their programming, and they were not paying the copyright fees. They said they were ignoring their obligations to the copyright holders. So Peloton slapped back and said, it's not our fault. It says they think the performing rights organizations stymied their efforts by the anti-competitive behavior. And they named certain music publishers. Peloton believed that, and this is probably going to set a precedent somewhere, that instead of an individual contract for each track or tune that it used, each song that it used, that it should have a package. So if Peloton wanted 100 tracks, they wanted a contract that covered those 100 tracks rather than an individual track. And of course, red flags went up right away, because royalty payments aren't all the same. So you can't have a blanket contract like that, Peloton. I'm sure you can after much negotiation and structuring of the legalese, the language. But the bottom line is copyrights are important. Copyright holders should be compensated. There should be, and I know the times they are changing, and we're sort of constructing this as we go along because the technology is developing on a daily basis. So there's a lot that's not in place. But as a writer, as a performer, and collaborating with other artists, whether you're signed to a company, whether you're in a group, it's important to know what's going on. Because you don't just write a song and release it and that's the end of it. It's hard work. It's very, very hard work. And as such, keep an eye on what's going on around you. Keep an eye on. Some of my contacts this week, we're talking about Mother's Day. Mother's Day was Sunday. And of course, I missed talking to you about Mother's Day. I did last Wednesday, but I got a lot of emails regarding Mother's Day. There were a lot of new mothers that sent emails. This is their first Mother's Day. And there's a tradition that they're starting with their families and their new offspring, whether you're newlywed. And then there were those mothers who were single mothers. We're talking about their Mother's Day and the struggles and the rewards and the obstacles that they overcame. And then there were mothers that were following the traditions to the letter. You go to church, you have a big dinner, the family gathers. And then there were mothers who were basically single again. They're widows, their children are grown, they've migrated elsewhere. Tradition means a lot, but they celebrated Mother's Day by themselves. Of course, they got the phone call, the bouquets, the cards, and the gifts. But it was interesting to get Mother's Day perspectives from all of these ladies. Some of them had adopted their children. But just to hear and just to read, and there are so many emails that I could not get to regarding Mother's Day, but I will, and you know I will. But Joe Blaze, shout out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Barbara Redrick, thank you very much for your prayers, for your support. James Jennings, Clyde Redrick, Irving Singleton, all my friends down in, let's see, the Jackson family from Georgia. Thank you so much. Judy Mills out in Arizona. Judy, I have been in touch with a lot of folks from our high school, our junior high school, the old neighborhood, because I'm in Brooklyn again. Thank you, Brooklyn, for remembering me. Thank you so much for your support. All the DJs, my neighbors, people that I haven't been in touch with for years. Miss Antoinette Morell, Big Al, the Morehouse man. Thank you guys for your support. We're going to listen to a little more of the Dells. What a great loss. Gerald Albright. Like, just between us, something from 30. Shout out to a couple of guys a couple of gentlemen that are in my life, and I've got to show my appreciation. I've been working with these gentlemen for generations, for like 19 years. When my grandkids were just a thought. When their kids were probably still in high school. Now their kids have kids. Michael Son and John Ward of Son Ward Kashignano. I want to thank you guys for your support, for your friendship, for all the life lessons that you taught me that you probably don't even know that I learned. I just gotta thank you guys. I'm so appreciative for having you in my life and in my career. Thanks, guys. I hope you guys won the softball game tonight. But moving right along, what you're hearing in the background is one of my favorite folks. And I know one of yours, Gerald Albright. Ooh, can we hear a little more of that? Oh, nobody does it better. Gerald. Gerald Albright. And of course, you know there's so much to say, because he always takes it to another level. You know, there is a seasoning, and there's so much that you hear. You hear that orchestra. You just hear that experience, that effortlessness, and it's just so tasty. I love you, Gerald Albright, and we will do that interview, and I will talk about your new documentary. Not as well versed as I should be at this point. I will do my research, and I will definitely share. Believe me. It's always great hanging out with you guys, and being with you makes everything better. Wednesday nights, it's the best night of the week, because I'm here with you all over the globe on King and Queen Radio and BrooklynStation.com, coming from you from Midwood, Brooklyn. I'd like to say thank you to Zena Palin. Thank you to Holly. We're having a great time around here. delicious, as she says. It's music to our ears. You know, one of my guests, and a lot of you guys are sending videos. And some of the videos I have to open up like with a brown paper bag. And I'd like to say that, you know, there is an interest, but if it's not on the evening news, then it probably won't be on Evenings with Eleanor. I am not a news station, you know. I'm an activist of sorts, but I choose my battles carefully, and I hope that I make a positive difference. I'm sorry that I can't communicate a lot of the things that you guys send to me, but I am aware and I'm honored that you think that I could do anything to assist. You know, I read a lot of things in the newspapers, and, you know, I get a lot of information from a lot of folks. And sometimes it breaks my heart that I can't do anything but write a lyric or sing a song. Sometimes you feel less than in situations when you can't help folks. Ray, I hope you got that leak in your garage fixed. But you know, the Eastern Shore of Maryland is a flood zone. So you gotta be careful. John, I hope Jill is doing much better. All my friends who are a little under the weather. George Gray, one of my listeners sent me a question, and she says, what is a simple way to prevent sarcopenia? Now, I haven't done my work on sarcopenia, but I know it has to do with muscle loss. So I'm hoping that George Gray, one of the greatest jazz drummers around, that's promised to stop by Evenings with Eleanor, and he's also a physical fitness expert. He's a physical trainer, a fitness trainer. So George, we would like to invite you to stop by and answer some of these questions from our viewers. I know a couple of things, and I can do the research, but it would be nice to have an expert. So I promise you, Miss Kim, that we will get back to you with an answer to this question. But thank you guys for tuning in and listening, and I knew that Conan O'Brien had stolen those jokes. I'm just saying, I knew that would be settled. I'm sorry that the Knicks didn't get their first choice, but I'm Zion. All you have to do is refuse and come to the Knicks. We got you. I had to put my bid in. We had psychics and shamans and lots of prayers for the Knicks draft pick. I wish the Knicks the best of luck. Just letting you guys know that a comedian won the presidential election in the Ukraine. Now I can't say anything about that except things have to get better. Things have to get better. A laugh is always better. And the way things are right now, I think any contribution would make things better. The Dells, back to the Dells. Oh! Yes. BrooklynStation.com. All the blessings given to me. Richard Cummings. Congratulations on the new grandbaby. Christine Wilshire. I'm watching your smoke. And see if I can ever flow. I'm gonna give all my heart, make a new start. Ace Blackhawk, climbing the charts. Congratulations. Oh, hello, love. Radio is sponsoring a movement of the people. You're part of it. Dance parade. I'm coming. We'll be there. Where are we? 1 to 4 p.m.?
Yes, you can. We're going to be on the phone, but you're welcome to come to the after party, the bandstand. It's going to be like all our dancers. And then they're going to have this dance afterwards. And then after that, there's a dance party. After party. So we want to like to have one of those.
So, the 13th Annual Dance Parade and Festival, Saturday, May 18th, New York City. The Grand Marshal is Bill T. Jones. You guys have to come out. The dance parade is 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., 21st Street and Broadway. The grandstand is at Astor Plaza, 8th Street and 4th Avenue. And the Dance Fest is from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Tompkins Square Park. So we're going to be there and we want to see you there. How about it?
Eleanor needs to be on that float.
We'll be on that float. We'll be float on, George Kerr. They got me twisted deep inside.
That's why I put on your music.
I don't wanna fight these powers of emotion. I'll just chill and let it ride. Preston Glass, lyricist, so true. Okay, Romy, remember? All this passion with no one.
BrooklynStation.com.
Oh, I know you do. Always did not feel this way. Hello, love, to be with you, all I crave. Walia, thinking about you. You're giving me a true to life fantasy. Stephanie Mills, congratulations. Yes, your son has published his first book. Congratulations. Always dreamed I'd feel this way. To be with you, all I crave. Boy, you really turn me on. This way. Hello, love. Hello, love. Thank you so much for doing joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday, 9 o'clock, brooklynstation.com. Evenings with Eleanore. I love you and thanks for hanging in there with us. Peace out.